Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to spend a few moments speaking with you about a theme that's been arising throughout the messages and channeled wisdom that's been shared in the last week with people from all around the world. And this is a really powerful theme. It's about patience. And if you're anything like me, you get a little bit tired of hearing about patience when it comes to our emerging consciousness, impending shifts, evolution of humanity. Something I hear quite often from people is, well, when is it going to happen? Or when is this particular thing that I'm really wanting to create happen? When is the potential that I feel for myself beginning to become manifest? And so patience is a big theme for all of us who are awakening in this new energy, especially when we have such a sense about things and we can then develop a concept about what we feel is possible. It always feels as if there's quite a lag between what we feel is possible and what's actually happening in our 3D, 4D reality. So, a real nugget that I wanted to share that arose in the last week is this. What we often feel that we're impatient for is not actually the manifestation of a thing or a particular experience occurring in our external field of reference. But what we're actually impatient for is the feeling that that said creation or manifestation is expected to bring us. This is so powerful because we often think that, well, if I want to, for example, I want to create this new home or I want to find this new home. What we're actually wanting is the feeling of being in that new home. And that's the thing that we actually get impatient for. We could say, well, I really want to generate a harmonic relationship and I can feel it's possible and I think I know what it's going to feel like, but when's this person going to come along? And again, it's the feeling that we want from that experience rather than the experience itself. And that's so powerful. Even in terms of if you're developing your own skills in consciousness at this time and you want to be able to be more visible and be sharing more of what you know about humanity and reality. I hear this very often. When am I going to become more visible? When is abundance going to arrive? When am I going to be able to do the things that I really want to do? Again, it's the feeling that we're actually impatient for. So if we distill it down to that, what we can then begin to realize is, well, if we actually know what that feeling is, this is how I want to feel. And this experience, when it arrives, is going to give me permission to feel that. You actually start to discover that if you have a reference for that feeling and you kind of know what it's going to feel like and you're waiting for that, that feeling is already available to you. Because if you know what it feels like, or if you have a bit of a sense of what it could be, where are you feeling this? You're actually feeling it within the sphere of your own consciousness. So it's already there. So once you begin to realize this, and you realize that you've been impatient for the feeling that a particular experience or manifestation can give you permission to feel, you can actually start to shortcut that a little bit and say, well, I know the feeling of what it will feel like to be in this new experience. So why don't I just give myself permission to feel that right now? And when you actually really sink into that feeling within your body and you feel it arise within you, inevitably it's going to be a feeling of relaxation. It's going to be oftentimes a feeling of stimulation, of satisfaction, perhaps of more excitement, perhaps a relief in some ways, but it is actually the epitome of freedom. And if you really feel into what we're saying in this moment, if you realize that you have the freedom to feel whatever you want to feel, whenever you want to feel it, there is no longer a sense of impatience that arises because now you're not waiting for something to happen in your reality so that you can feel what you want to feel. And this is what the masters and wisdom from the field will often share as an inversion effect, where instead of outsourcing to have the experience that we want, instead of creating something out here to give us the feeling that we want in here, we actually start with giving ourselves permission to feel what we want in here. And then naturally, life starts to align itself in accordance with that feeling. You're already feeling it. Now, sometimes that can mean that what you've been wanting to manifest will start to unfold in perhaps a more accelerated way. But oftentimes it means that that feeling that you're now giving yourself permission to feel, regardless of what's happening around you, starts to fractalize and manifest vibrationally resonant experiences in your reality in accordance with that, which means that you generally start manifesting experiences that you hadn't even thought of that give you more of that experience of that feeling or start to agree with it. So your reality starts to agree with the feeling that you're having. So, what are we really impatient for? We're not impatient for things happening. We're impatient for a feeling that we want, which is actually available right now. So, thanks for being with me for a few moments while we've explored impatience in a new way. I hope that you give yourself permission to feel deeply into that which you long for and yearn for in life, and realize that it's available as a feeling state in any moment. If you can imagine the feeling, you already have the feeling. You cannot reference it if it's not already existing within your field of reference. I wish you a beautiful day, and may we all feel that freedom for expression.